Hey guys, strawberries in syrup. That's what I'm canning today, and this is how I do it. First, I get all of my strawberries and I run them under cold water. I inspect every one and take the top off and wash it. And for this one, for this recipe, I'm going to need 16 cups of strawberries. So when I'm done with all of this and have my 16 cups, I'll come back. Next step. I have my 16 cups of strawberries. I'm just going to drain some of the excess water that gets in the bowl when you're cleaning them. I try very hard to stick with berries that are ripe but firm. I save the less firm ones for jams, jellies, things like that. So I try to keep them at about this size. There's a couple of big ones, but that'll work too, as long as they're firm. I put it all in a big bowl. And then I put in 3 cups of sugar. You can use 2 to 3 cups of sugar. I've used 2 cups before in the past. It doesn't work very well for me. I like it a little bit sweeter, and I find that it gives me a little bit more liquid this way. So all 3 cups go in. Then you're going to give this a really good stir and try not to mush the strawberries. And mix them up really well. Make sure they're all coated. And then you're going to wrap this in saran wrap and put it in a really cold place. I'm probably going to make a huge mess doing this, but that looks really good. Oh, there it is. I knew I seen green in there. See, if I do it with my hands, it's even harder, because then you'll really squish them. So I'm going to put saran wrap on this, and I'm going to put it in my basement. You have to put it in a cold place, not room temperature, a cold place. My cellar is very cold, so it does really well down there. Or I suppose you can put it in the fridge, but the recipe doesn't really say to put it in the fridge. It just says in a cold place, because you do want that sugar to dissolve a little bit. And it's going to sit there just like that for 5 to 6 hours, and then I'll come back. It's almost time to can these strawberries up. So I have my workstation set up. This is what you're going to need. I used pint-sized jars for this. So I have wide mouth lids, I have my rings, I have paper towel and vinegar, a lid lifter. I have 2 ladles, one for the strawberries and one for boiling hot water that I already have prepared. If I don't have enough syrup, I will use the water to top it off. You're going to need jar lifters, funnel, some sort of spoon, non-metallic, something to protect your hands and something to protect your tables. You're going to need stir sticks, and you're going to need your water for your lids and rings. Not boiling water, just hot water. My jars have been sterilized, so I'm keeping them in the water bath canner to stay warm. I'm using the rack from my pressure canner because the rack that came with this, I don't like it at all. It's just fumbly, and the jars fumble around. It's more work than it's worth, so I always use my pressure canner rack for the bottom of this one. Always remember that your jars can't touch the bottom of the pot, so make sure there's something at the bottom of the pot to protect them. I transferred these strawberries into a heavy-duty pot. This couldn't get easier. All you want to do is heat these berries through. You don't want to cook it, you don't want to boil it, you just want to make sure they're heated through, and you want to make sure that the sugar is all dissolved. So go low and slow. I'm on medium, and this is all I'm going to do with this. I'm going to baby this until they're heated through. My strawberries are done, so I'm just going to take this water out of my jars, and I'm going to take it over to my workstation. This is all done. They're beautiful. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And the house smells fantastic. What I like to do is, because I never know where I'm going to be with the liquid, I try to divide the strawberries up first and then pour the liquid on top. So I kind of have equal amounts in each jar. Because you never know if you're going to need water with this. And I'll do 3. Yikes, that's hot. This smells so great. And this is so nice on a winter's night. And I know it's summer, but these are the things that you really, really enjoy in the winter as well. So having them now, doing them now, really pays off. So you're going to go up to a 1/2 inch on the line. With jams and preserves, you usually go more higher up than the 1 inch. And you'll have to excuse my voice, it's getting very, very late and I'm very, very tired. But canning season is canning season. So there you go. Okay, let's see if I can move this over. And they are very hot. And then when you get all of this in, I'm going to go up a little higher on that one. There we go. Now what you're going to do is get your stir stick and debubble. Oops. Oh, almost had a fall out there. And another one. Yeah, it's getting late. Now I want the syrup to really go over the strawberries. So what I'm going to do is with a wooden spoon, not metallic, I'm going to take some of these strawberries out. Because I really don't want those strawberries sticking out. And I will put in a little bit of water to top it off. And that should do it. There we go. Now I'm going to get my paper towel and my trusty vinegar. And you want to make sure it's really clean, really dry, and syrup and strawberry free. You don't want anything on the rim of this. And that is very, very hot stuff. Now I'm going to get my lid, put it on, and I set these out to cool so they're a little bit easier to work with. Now you want finger firm. I see it as first resistance and then a little tug. You don't want to put these too tight, but you don't want them loose at all either. So first resistance and a twist. And one more. Yikes, that's hot. First resistance and twist. So I'm going to put those in the canner, and when I'm done all of these, I'll come back. The jars are in the water. They have at least 1 inch headspace over the jars with water. I'm going to put the lid on. There we go. And when that comes to a rapid boil, I'm going to time it for 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes is up. I'm going to take the lid off. And I'm going to time it for 5 minutes, and then I can take them out of the canner. These are finished. They were in the canner for 10 minutes. I took them out. They're going to sit on my counter for 24 hours. I'm not going to move them. I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to let them rest. You would be shocked at how often I get asked, how do I wash my jars? All I do is put a bit of dish soap on, and I make sure all the food is off. And I rinse them. And this is how I do all my jars. That's it. The only thing left to do is labeling your jars. You can do it anyway. You can print out stickers, you can write on the top With preserves and things, I just wrap a band around them with the date. Always make sure there's a date on your jars. That way I can just grab them and give them away if I so choose and there's not sloppy writing all over it. Now, these turned out fantastic. If you're not a jam lover, like my daughter's not a huge jam lover. It's too sweet for her. But these, she will eat these out of the jar, just as is. They're really not as sweet as jam. They always lose their color, so be aware of that. Don't freak out or anything. That's normal. And they always float to the top. But once you open it up, you can mix it up, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, especially on ice cream, or let's say an angel food cake, something like that. It's just absolutely lovely. Give it a try. Till next time. Hey, dough.